that is that Bones Hyland, Denver's rookie, has looked outstanding in the summer league, and then looked equally as outstanding in the preseason. And typically, I would say, rookies, you're not really going to count them. You got veteran players, you got this or that. But I look at Bones Hyland and what he's done. He has not had he has yet to have a bad game, either summer league or preseason. And I look at that and I think he provides scoring. He's been pretty steady. A little turnovers, a little high, and that's probably one of the things that might keep him on the bench. But he runs the pick and roll incredibly well, very advanced feel. And I think if you look at Denver's second unit right now, without Bones, it would be Facu. It would be Austin Rivers and PJ Dozier. None of those guys are reliable three-point shooters. They can knock down a shot, but they're not spacing the floor. Nobody's running over top screens to keep those guys from launching an off-the-dribble three-pointer. And I look at that and I go, can you win in the NBA? Even with the bench unit, can you win if you don't have that threat, the 1, 2, or 3? And so Bones, who's a very big threat from deep, might replace one of those guys. It's not going to be PJ Dozier, so let's count him out. He's more of a small forward anyway with the Nuggets configuration. So now you look at Facu and Austin Rivers. I would not be surprised if either right out of the gate or at some point in the early go of this season, one of those guys gets bounced in favor of Bones, both because he might just be better overall, but also because he provides there's a little bit of a redundancy between those other three that Bones might kind of create a little bit more spacing, a little bit more dynamic playmaking.
And yeah, he's been fantastic. I just, I feel like we're not that far removed from wanting Michael Malone to play Michael Porter Jr. more. And so it's like hard for me to really envision him leaning semi-significantly on a rookie. Do you think that's something that he would actually be open to, given how like veteran heavy the rest of the roster is?
So we joke all the time here at DNVR about there being Malone guys and not Malone guys. And Malone guys are tough. They're smart. They are very low mistakes, so they're dialed in, so they don't make a lot of mistakes. And then I would say even there's just like Michael Malone was a point guard in college, right? He's a point guard's mind. So guys that maybe favor just seeing the game from a point guard standpoint. Michael Porter is none of those things, right? He's an incredibly talented player, but smart. No, he came in missing a couple years. He had to catch up. He was behind the curve from a basketball sort of, feel for the game intelligence standpoint. Low mistake. Well, Michael Porter's not that easy. Defensively, especially, he makes a lot of mistakes. So I think when you contrast that to Bones, who one of the surprises out of him in the early go in the preseason so far has been how much more of a point guard he is. I think he was thought of as the scorer who comes in, is always looking for a shot. Been a great passer, both in summer league and in preseason. And so I think he's more of a Malone type guy. The mistakes are the one thing, the turnovers, this or that, are the one thing that could keep him on the bench. Because to your point, that is a thing that I think all coaches, but especially Malone, look at and say, I'd rather have somebody I know is not going to make mistakes than somebody that I know is going to make shots. But I think he's low enough mistake that he'll get over that hump pretty quickly, if not right out of the gate. So to answer your question shortly, yes, I think that he has a much better chance of getting early minutes than Michael Porter did, just because of that low mistake and his ability to slot right in.
He was a not so guilty pleasure of mine leading into the draft, just watching like his shooting, but like he's a contortionist around the rim. So I'm hoping he gets minutes. I would love to see that.
Did you know, real quick, he was a playmaker? Because that's the thing. Every scouting report I saw said two things. One, handle not very good. Well, that hasn't been accurate. In fact, the Nuggets were polled who has the best handle on the team. They almost all said Bones has the best handle on the team. So that part of the scouting report was out. And then the other part was, he's a scorer, he's a gunner, but I'm so impressed with how well he reads the court and how willing he is as a passer. Does that part surprise you at all?
Yeah, that actually floors me. I think it was the handle, and then it was wondering, would he be able to get those tough shots off at the NBA level? Just looking at, I don't know, sometimes his mode of operations felt a little slow, but seeing him in preseason specifically, like that part looks fine. But the playmaking is absolutely a surprise. And so I guess that makes a lot easier for him to get minutes if he's actually able to fill that